tell me about the vision. What was Avocado? You and Mike obviously sat down and went, right, okay, we're going to start a business. This is how we want it to be. What was it?
Yeah. So I was, what was I, 36 when Prospect made me redundant. And I'd been there 16 years. So kind of that was all I knew. That was the only agents I'd worked for before. So I kind of, I understood that culture of what, you know, a strong independent looks like, very aggressive company, classic estate agent sort of stereotype, if you like, as a brand. But something happened when I had my daughter, my first daughter, which was a couple of years before that. She's 6 now. So she would have been about 2.5, 3, I think, at the point of redundancy. You just sort of shift a little bit on your moral compass, I think, and you kind of see things in a slightly different light. You're happy about the way people are spoken to, or you're not. And I think that was the moment where I started to look at things slightly different. I started listening to a lot more podcasts. I really got into my running. So inevitably, when the redundancy came, when I made the decision to stay in the industry, because I did flicker between getting out of agency altogether at that point, because, you know, it's a difficult time for anyone, especially when you've been at the same place for so long. I felt that to do it, I had to do it in the way I visioned it being, and that meant better for people that we were working with, and people in the brand, in the culture. And really the idea for me, I was fascinated about how they do it in Australia, America, you know, South Africa, places like that, where it's one point of contact from start to finish. And I just always felt that in any industry, the business owner inevitably will give the best service to the client because it just means more to them. So to stop the complaint issue in UK estate agency, which for the last 2-3 decades has been communication, how do we eradicate that? This was the blueprint of how we felt we could do that, by giving the client business owner service only, and giving estate agents the ability to start their own business without investing 100 grand and taking out a lease on a high street premises. Really, that was the concept around the idea. And then it evolved into the name, the brands. It went up a few levels with pink hoodies and stuff like that. And we made a bold statement that, you know, we won't wear suits and we won't drop leaflets. And that was nothing against the companies that do that. It was our statement of intent to the public. This is how different we actually are. And that's where it built. That was the early days.
I was going to ask you about the hoodies, specifically the pink hoodies. Where did that idea come from?
We were working with a marketing guy at the time who sort of designed the original kind of avocado logo, and we were just having a bit of banter in his studio, actually, and we were kind of talking about the social media element of things and how we were going to do it. And we were setting up some videos, and we were like, well, what should we dress like? Because, you know, you'd only known suits before. If we're not wearing suits, what do we actually wear? And then we were like, well, we want to show we're marketing professionals, so let's dress like marketing professionals. And then we said, well, we could go, what's the opposite of a suit, from a navy suit from Next? And the opposite of a navy suit from Next was a pink hoodie. And we were like, well, let's get some pink hoodies and put those on. And that really does show we're not just going from A to B, we're going from A to Z as such. So that's where the pink hoodie came from, really.
And when obviously, how's that perceived when, like, okay, so your guys are going out to do a valuation, they knock on the door. Do the people know that they're going to come pink hoodied up, or are they? I asked the question. Tell you what, I asked the question because I remember about 15 years ago when I was working in agency, and we did a start, me and my ex-partner, and I remember knocking on the door once, and I never ever used to wear a suit and tie. I always used to be fairly casual. Sometimes it was jeans, but generally trousers and open neck shirt and just a jacket. And I remember knocking on this door, and this lady said to me one day, she went, "Yes, can I help you?" I said, "I'm Steve from so-and-so, estate agents." She went, "Well, you don't look like an estate agent." I said, "Madam," she says, "it's the nicest thing anyone said to me all day." And it just broke the ice. She just sort of laughed, and it is it's weird, isn't it? People's perception. So when the guys, and obviously you must have gone out in the early days. You must have gone out yourself. How was that received on the doorstep?
Funny you say it. So the truth is, we launched 6 days before lockdown. So me and Mike said, we'll wear the pink hoodies on the social media videos because it grabs the attention, it stops the scroll. On appointments, we'll dress like marketing professionals, you know, so fairly smart jumper, chinos, shoes, that sort of look. We wanted to show that we were different, but we didn't intend to go in our hoodies. 6 days after soft launching, obviously we've hit lockdown. So we then went the best part of 12 weeks without doing an appointment. And all we did was videos of us in pink hoodies. And I was bumping into people in Sainsbury's, in the middle of lockdown when you were allowed to go and social distance and we're wearing our masks and things like that. People started talking to me. They're like, I've seen your videos. I love what you guys are doing, blah, 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 blah. And that was even like 4 weeks. So I thought, right, we're on to the right track here. At least that's a win. And then as soon as we were allowed to do appointments again, 12 weeks later after the first soft launch, I was knocking on the door, introducing myself. And they're like, Ian, where's your hoodie? Like they were asking, where's your hoodie? And people would actually get disappointed if we didn't turn up in the hoodie. We only had one each at the time, obviously new start budget and all that. Couldn't wear it all day, every day. So in the end now, it doesn't really matter what we wear, to be fair. Sometimes it's what I'm wearing now. Sometimes it's the pink hoodie. Clients have just bought into the concept. And a lot of clients actually have pink hoodies as well around this area. And, it's great when you see them rocking around in your merch and stuff like that, just casually. So it's evolved. Yeah, it's been fun.